righty. So we're talking about, we're talking about coffee. Maybe we do that one over. That's an outtake. Okay. Hey, back in the studio, we're talking about this deep dive on Texas family law and the best interest of the child standard and how big and vague that concept is. You know, you could use a whole bunch of other big words to describe the best interest of the child. What does that mean in plain English? And that's what the purpose of this video series is to break that down for you guys so you have the information you need when you're headed into these scenarios, and you can, you know, help understand what you're facing when you're a parent looking at these decisions. And so one of the factors is acts or omissions by a parent indicating an improper parent-child relationship. So we all know what action is. We know what that is, but omissions are the, you know, it's legal jargon, and I'm not a fan of legal jargon, but in plain English, omissions are the absence, right? The absence of, let's just look this thing up, something that is left out or excluded, the action of excluded or leaving out someone or something, a failure to do something, especially something that has a moral or legal obligation to do. So, you know, that is the definition of what this is. And, you know, the fact of the matter is abuse and neglect, right? That's going to be a huge one. Any kind of abuse or neglect is certainly considered by the court. And Texas has like many states, an extremely broad definition of abuse or neglect, right? Family violence is defined as many, many things, including mental manipulation, right? When it rises to a certain level and it's directed at a child in order to gain some advantage in a family law case, mental manipulation can even fall under this big definition, right? It's not talking about the parents who are beating their kids or smacking their wife around, or the wife who's being abusive to the husband when there's too much alcohol being consumed. It is a massive definition. It covers a lot of things: drug abuse, alcohol abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual assaults. All those things fall under our definition of family violence. And one of the biggest things that can occur in this scenario, in this best interest analysis, is these allegations of abuse and neglect. And I can't stress this enough. This is the thing that can move the needle the most in a Texas family law situation. It can be the deal breaker. It can result in a 2-year keep away, right? A protective order can last up to 2 years. So there's tons of things that can be packed into this, you know, actions and failure to act. Now, a lot of times you got two really good parents, right? We're talking about a scenario where there's an absence of family violence. You have two really good parents. There's no reason that they wouldn't be parents with equal rights. We call those joint managing conservators. And so they have a temporary orders hearing where they're just pounding on each other. This is something she always did wrong, or he always did wrong. And they're just pounding on each other. And so the court hears the dirty laundry. And one of the questions in the court's mind is, well, why didn't this ever rise to the level of a 911 call, a CPS call, any kind of intervention at any other time by or a divorce filing, right? A custody determination. Because it diminishes in the court's mind that these things never were raised, right? Never raised before. And, you know, so whatever allegations that are going to be made, you know, just be cognizant of that. If they've never been raised before, the court may give some serious pause and may take them all with a grain of salt. And more importantly, the court may put some really onerous, because if the court hears all this terrible stuff about both parents, you know, the court may go, well, you know, I think I may just refer this case to the Department of Family and Protective Services, and maybe we'll put these kids with a grandparent or into the temporary adoptive care. I mean, that doesn't always happen, but these are things that the court can do. When you're submitting yourself to the jurisdiction of a Texas family court, district court, or county court judge, you are submitting yourself to the broad power that the state of Texas is now going to be involved in your parenting. And the state of Texas has a lot of power, a lot more than people may anticipate. When they get that wake-up call, it's like a cold splash of water from a deep sleep, where you're going to have to go for a psychological evaluation. You're both on restricted time with your kids. You can't just think of all the things that you may be wanting to be imposed on the other parent. Well, what if they go both ways? Okay, both of you submit to a drug test today. Both of you submit to an alcohol screening today. You both have to pay for half of each other's tests. You both need a psychological evaluation starting today. You both need an attorney ad litem for your kids. You both have to split those costs, meaning these costs can just mount. So be cognizant of what's going to happen and what these allegations, what these alleged omissions are. Now, I'm not saying don't bring a good faith allegation of family violence. By God, bring it. It's what the justice system is here for. We've tried to remedy, the cycle of violence through what we do in the justice system to prevent future violence by giving people who are the victims of violence a safe place to make an outcry. And I would say a lot of times it really works. And we can get people out of violent situations. On the other hand, make sure they're in good faith. Make sure they're not unmeritorious, because when they are, that can backfire. And it's like walking into a bear trap. Bam. I'm not talking about walking into quicksand. Walking into a bear trap. Custody roles can be reversed. Things can get flipped. The script can get flipped on you so fast it'll make your head spin. So be cognizant of that. I hope that this has been informative. I got more on this subject coming next. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit me with a video message on any platform you see this on. More from the studio on Texas Family Law, the best interest standard, coming up next.